Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Chronicle Keeper Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I am going to be doing a physical product review of Amazing Adventures 2024. So these are the remastered or reforged OGL-less versions of Amazing Adventures. However, I'm going to talk a little bit about their content because the content isn't just cleaning up and changing nomenclature and removing what elements might have been tied to the OGL 3.1. Instead, it is significantly larger in page count with the player's handbook. So without further ado, let me shift over to a full screen here. And so I also want to give credit out to Trollord Games. I put in my order for these on December 4th, and they arrived yesterday. So literally 14 days later, they were in my, they were in my mailbox. So really quick delivery, and really happy with that. From time of order to delivery was from the 4th to the 18th. So very quick. So here we have the physical copy. A fairly large book. This is everything that a player will need to have in their possession in order to play this game. And then there is the Chronicle Keeper's Guide, which is significantly smaller. And I always find that these are useful, but they aren't required. So they give you a lot of Trollord Games with their either the Castle Keeper's Guide or the Chronicle Keeper's Guide. They give you a lot of optional rules that are found in these, and some tips and on how to run a campaign or how to run an adventure and whatnot. So, and I haven't started digging into this yet, so I'm really anxious to jump into it and and see how much use I'm going to get out of using this. And then I also picked up the screen, so the Chronicle Keeper's screen, and I already did a preview of these for the PDF, but the screen is also, this is very heavy duty cardboard, and the layout is as what I showed you before, very focused on what a Chronicle Keeper needs a quick reference in order to run a game session very smoothly. So I'm really happy with this, and the quality of it is really, you can hear how heavy this actually is without being the full book size of the old AD&D first edition Game Master screen or Dungeon Master screen. So it's a lighter weight cardboard, but still very sturdy and takes up less room. So that's good as well. So I wanted to make the comparison between the old Player's Handbook and the new. So the old Player's Handbook, and both of these are written by Jason Vey, so a shout out to Jason Vey. And I'd actually love to have him on the channel and do an interview with him to see what it's like to work on to work for Trollord Games and to be utilizing their Siege engine, which this is built off of the Siege engine game and this is all pulp action. So this book, the original, was 200 and some odd pages long. Let's see, 239 pages, including the character sheet. And the new edition And again, OGL less is 303 pages long with the character sheet included in that. So a significant increase in the page count. And I was looking it over, and yes, there's probably more art involved in this, but there is definitely more content packed into this as well. So, looking over the physical features of the book, so you have, very nice, coloration and layout, you know, great pieces of art that are in there, and and again, this is not AI art. This is art done by actual artists, and the layout is very clear to to see what is important, what you need to focus on. There are optional rules that are in these nice blue panels here, so it gives you descriptions as well, such as like additional languages and whatnot. There's this some of the color use that they do have here. It's like a very light purple separating from the other text as well. So you do get that separation. My one, so you can definitely see it here. All right. Now my one point of criticism is that if you're looking here at these pages, and actually that chart would have been would have been a great chart to actually use as the example for that. Let me see if I can find that full page graph again. Of course, now that I'm looking for it, I'm not going to come across it. I believe it was in the equipment section. So, but anyway, I'm not going to belabor the point. So you can see here that the pages themselves have almost like a texture and coloration behind them. All right. And when you're looking at it, especially with those charts, with the light purple intermixed with the non-colored but the background color of the page itself, it's almost like they tried to create like a texture of the page. I have two issues with that. If you compare it to this here, I mean, this is very crisp. It jumps right out at you. And this here, especially with those full graph pages, gets a little bit muddled. My second problem with it is that if you're going to the PDF, and I will bring up the PDF on here in a second. Let me just pause this for 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to pause for the garage, and I wanted to do something really quick here. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So here we have the PDF, and I will zoom way in, and you can see this is the paper texture coloration behind that I'm talking about. And then let's go to where they have the, let's go to weapons. So starting equipment. So you can see here with there's the light coloration, and then there's the lighter purple between the two. And on the PDF it looks a little bit clearer, but on the page itself it gets a little bit more muddled. It's a little bit harder to see through that. And when you're printing this, all right, your printer is going to be catching all of this background texture as well. And so it's going to become very ink intensive for for producing sections to hand out to your players if that's what you're looking to do. So if I wanted to hand out each player just the basic rule set. So if I just wanted to hand them the core rules of the Siege engine, let's see if we have that formatted here. It's going to become very ink intensive for them. And that's, my primary issue with the physical copy of it, is that the it just becomes harder. So I'm hoping what may be possible is for a PDF. Oops, sorry. What I'm hoping, if possible, is a PDF release of a cleaned up version of it. In other words, without that background texture to it, so that yes, we can in fact print out a very clean version of it. The other thing that might be possible, and I'm looking at it here, is at least the Chronicle Keeper's screen does not have that. And so you could print this out for the players, so like a rules reference and whatnot, and the basics of attributes and battle and so on, to hand out to the players as well. So it is a little bit clearer there, and a little bit easier to do that. So those are my only two issues with the physical copies, and the current PDF formatting, is that although there's a lot of really impressive artwork in here, my only real complaint is that background page shouldn't have any coloration to it whatsoever. It should be just the colors that they have on white, so that it pops off and becomes a little bit less muddled. I mean, you really start to see it on like a page like this here, and you start to see that it's it becomes a little bit muddled in trying to read that. But the book itself, I mean, this is a very, very sturdy book. The character sheet on the back is useful to have on that kind of a setup. And again, the character sheet is clear, right, on the back, the backing of the character sheet, so you don't have that same issue. I would have liked to have seen that across the way. So for any of those that have been following my channel, I'm a huge fan of Troll Lord Games. I'm a huge fan of everything Castles and Crusades, and Amazing Adventures is going to be a game system that I absolutely run. And the other reason why I'm going to absolutely run this is because it talks about, right in the very beginning, that this is Castles and Crusades, the same game system, being utilized for pulp action. All right, so if you play Castles and Crusades, you know that game system really well. Transferring over to this is going to be completely seamless. It is the same game system. You're just essentially adding character classes and equipment and themes that are more pulp action. And so again, if you're already familiar with Castles and Crusades, this will be a very, very easy game to transition over to and run along with the same game mechanics. So very easy to pick up. The Chronicle Keeper's Guide, I am going to spend time with that as well when I start digging into each of these. And very briefly, the Chronicle Keeper's Guide is going to talking about creating new character classes, monsters as player characters. It's going to go into the occultists and emergency magic and ritual magic and various other things um, to enhance the magic system that is found in the player's handbook, including arcane duels and battle magic and such. Then we go into siege checks and initiative on combat and aiding others and the basic rules mechanics of the system. And then it will go into how to be a great chronicle keeper, creating style and mood and maintenance and pace and scope of the game and rulings versus rules, or rules versus rulings as it's written here, running AA, so how to run the game system itself or run a game session itself, designing a scenario, and so on. So just a whole ton of useful tips and some optional rules and systems to add to it as well. So be on the lookout heading forward, particularly into 2025, as I start digging through this in detail now for each of the 2 core rule books. And as I mentioned previously in a previous video when I was just doing the PDF preview of these, I will be giving this copy away at a convention. I will see which convention is easiest for me to bring, and I'm looking for conventions that do either charity auctions. I know that ShireCon does that, and it might be easier for me to bring this to ShireCon because it's a local convention for me, so I'm not lugging it, lugging it to a big convention where I'm running, a number of games. So I might bring this to ShireCon and put it in the charity auction there, along with a lot of other things as well. So I'm starting to fill up my double bookshelves now of products, many of them coming from Trollord Games. So I'm waiting for Gary Gygax's World Building to start coming out. I'm expecting the Hermit physical copy to come, to come to my doorstep very, very soon. And so once I reorganize my shelf space here, then I will get back to doing my shelf tours. I know I'm still working on shelf number 7, and that's not where any of the changes are going to take place, thankfully. So most of my shelf space is going to change with the Castles and Crusades shelf right behind me, the shelf right next to that. And get this to go right. Nope, this way. The one right directly behind me that you can't even see will be some other game systems that I'm just going to do a little bit of reorganization, primarily directly behind me, and I want to change my shelf up to move over the games I'm currently running, which you can see here. That is going to change a little bit. That's actually the space I created for my Amazing Adventures section. So I will probably do an overflow in that direction there and shift around some games. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen or at a convention sometime soon. My next convention is Page 2. That is the Philadelphia Area Game Expo. I am a special guest. I just got the scheduling for when I will be at a table for signings and or taking pictures with with fans. So if you want to take a picture with me and everything, I will have a table. I believe it is Saturday morning at 12:30. I have to double check and see that. So I'm looking forward to meeting players at the at the convention. I am running 3 game sessions there. all of them Shadow Dark. So two of the adventures are written by Tom Wilson that I'm running, and I've run one of those at conventions before. Very, very popular, um, very, very popular adventure. And then one of my Shadow Dark adventures is one that I've written myself. So that's my Shards of Ymir. It was originally a Conan 2D20, which I transferred over to Shadow Dark, and then I modified it and tweaked it a little bit, put some of my own rules mechanics into that to kind of emulate the momentum system of the Conan 2D20 system. I play tested that at Shire Con back in October, September, October, and went really, really well, and very exciting to run that a second time. And then, once I get through 2025, having run some of the same adventures for their second or possibly third time, I will then look to change things up for the latter part of 2025, and then moving into 2026, you're going to see a whole new selection of adventures and game systems from me. Um, so also in 2025, I will be running Deadlands Second Edition. So that's a new introduction. Um, basically changing from Weird Frontiers to Deadlands Second Edition. So you will see an adventure for that, most likely at Rising Phoenix in April. So definitely working on a number of different fronts as far as game systems are concerned, and continuing my journey as a convention game master, and really trying to hone my skills and my presentation of games, and to of course enhance and always work towards uh, expanding your experience at my table at a convention setting. So really excited about the next 6 to 8 months in my gaming experience going forward. So thanks for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day and upcoming weekend. I know it's only Thursday, but I'm in vacation mode right now. So I am off from my part-time job as a retiree, but I'm off as my for my part-time job until January 2nd. So really excited about these next few weeks that I'll have plenty of time to actually start organizing what my convention year is going to look like for 2025. You'll have a great one. Take care.